Hello, welcome to a video. Not much of a video. Okay, actually, yes, it's a video. It's just more of a, let's say, a rant about a comic book character called the Black Panther. Now, you see, sorry for movement. Black Panther. Let me back up. Let me back up. There isn't a Black Panther movie. There's Marvel's been doing this a whole Avengers initiative, and they have this Phase One, Phase Two, Phase Three. Phase One was Iron Man 2, Captain America, Thor, and then the Avengers. And then Phase Two is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Thor: The Dark World, and obviously Iron Man 3 coming out May 3rd, and followed by Avengers 2. And then Phase 3 is gonna start off with Ant Man. Now, my problem is, why is there not a Black Panther movie? Like there should be a Black Panther movie. He's a really great character. He runs a nation. Like, come on, that's pretty awesome. He runs a nation and he's a superhero. That's dope. And yes, he's African, but that's not even the reason why. So don't even think that. He's just really, really cool. And so I've been campaigning for this movie for I don't even know how long. I've made dozens of posts about this, my own personal blog. I've gotten lots of feedback from my people who actually want this to happen. So I started this debate of who would you want to see play Black Panther. And first and foremost, people always say, uh, I'm gonna completely butcher his name. I think it's pronounced Jimon Honsu. You know what I'm talking about, Amistad, and other films that he was in. But they want him to do it, and I always say that would work if he wasn't the age he is now. I hear people are gonna say, but he's only 48, and Robert Downey Jr. is playing Iron Man. He's yada yada. But you have to understand, when Iron Man became Iron Man, he was around like late 30s, early 40s. He like playboy bachelor kind of guy. So it's not like his origin story started off when he was like 20 years old. But here you have Black Panther, aka T'Challa, who started off young and then he became the Black Panther. And I think if Marvel wants to build a successful franchise around this character, they should have him to where we actually see his growth to become the Panther, not just him as Panther. So with that line of thought, I say, hey, they can have him in it, but have him play Panther's father, T'Chaka, the original Black Panther. Because a little backstory: Black Panther is the leader of an African nation called Wakanda, obviously a fictional nation, and the chief or the king is called the Black Panther. It's a role, it's a title. It's not just the character's name. It's There have been many Black Panthers before, and now the current one is T'Challa, but it used to be his father. And so I think that that's their guy is Jamon. I said Aldous Hodge. And people are like, who's Aldous Hodge? I'm like, if you've seen Supernatural, he played Jake Talley, but you probably know him as Alec Hardison from Leverage. And he's young. He's around like I think it's like 25, 26, and I think he really has he has the to me he has the presence of it. Like he can really I think he can pull it off. He can pull off the young, arrogant, and then slowly mature, and he's young, so they could build a franchise on him, and it'd be awesome. And other ones I've heard is uh, Lance Gross from House of Pain. I think it's House of Pain or Meet the Browns. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, but I don't know about him, so I can't say yes or no. And then uh, there was a bunch of people too who weren't really. I mean, I was like, most of them were just too old. Like people forget, like as a producer or director or whatever, if you're financing a film, you want to build a successful franchise, you're gonna need to have someone relatively young, so I should draw on the younger crowd because that's what I would want. I don't want to watch old people play my heroes. I'm sorry, it's just me. Unless that's the role they need to play, like Magneto or Professor X. And then, so we had that conversation. Lots of people were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." Now here's where the rant part comes in the video. By the way, someone mentioned Morris Chestnut, and that someone was Morris Chestnut. He didn't mention it. He tweeted out something along the lines of, "I need to familiarize myself with the character." And then shortly after, like, a couple of days, people were like, "No, no, 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 it wasn't him. It was his camp or his owns the camps." I don't know if you can check it on Twitter, but whatever. I guess they're trying to pitch it out there, but look here. I have no problem with Morris Chestnut as a person or as an actor. I take great offense the fact that anyone wanted to play the Black Panther. Like he just no, like he does not carry the weight at all. He does not have that presence of royalty. He doesn't seem regal to me. If I saw him, he wouldn't be an imposing figure. He would just be some dude, and he's not even African. Like I feel like they should go authentic and actually hire someone who's somewhat African. I don't mean someone like, oh, but he's black. No, I mean like let me hear a weird last name. Let me struggle with your name. Let me get that kind of African. Okay, that's what I need. More Chestnut needs to stay as far away from this one as possible. Okay, go do. Actually, aren't they doing like the Wood too or something like that? Go do that. Go find Ice Cube. Go do a prequel to Boys in the Hood. Do something, but don't. No, you're not touching. No, no. Like no, that's a terrible idea. That is a bad idea. That's to me that's the level of when Hollywood takes ethnic characters and makes them all white. Like that's to me like that's like no. Like that's you can't just have random black people being the Black Panther. He's a leader. He runs a country. He's athletic. He's a super intelligent. Now I'm not saying Morris Chestnut is any of those things, but he's not the one to portray those things. I want to say accurately, if I'm saying that without offending him or any of his fans, or I don't know who's even watching this, but no, he's not. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. I don't do it. Just nothing sits good about that. That makes me sick. Like it's like yeah, that's not a good look. I don't know why you'd want that. It's just a terrible idea. It's really bad. Like do not even suggest that. If I see that suggestion, I will track your IP address and I will throw a pie in your face, full of rocks. Okay, so no. But yeah, Black Panther. I think it's a really interesting story. You know, he could show Marvel's more diverse side because so far all we've seen is really New York and Los Angeles. Like if we're really being real, and I'm sorry, New York, Los Angeles, and New Mexico for Thor, which really took place in like 3 seconds of the film. It was basically just Asgard. And it was just small confined. You know, if they show Wakanda as it should be, I think that could really change the game because it's an African nation. It's one of the most advanced places in the universe. It has a very rare material called vibranium, which I know it sounds kind of like 1950s science. Oh, vibranium, but it's really cool metal. It basically absorbs all vibrations. So like it could absorb impact from a bullet because bullets is kinetic and will just absorb all that. It's really useful stuff, and it also leads back to like actual Panther himself because the vibranium that grows in that soil also has mutated the land and the people in such a way where it grows an herb. It's a heart-shaped herb that the Panther eats, and it grants him basically superhuman abilities. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna be like the Hulk or Superman, but he's I guess he's kind of like Captain America in a sense, where he's like a maxed out human, but his other senses are heightened too. So like sense of smell and reflexes, all that stuff. But T'Challa's also really, really smart. So that coupled with his physical prowess, that could be a very interesting character because it's kind of combining the Captain American aspect of it, but also combining like I guess since it's for Marvel Universe, kind of like the Tony Stark, Bruce Banner type of intellect. Like I think he's top eight. He's one of the eight smartest people in the world. So he's a genius. So there's that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Why would this movie kick major ass? Oh, um, he's just really cool. Like I don't like he's like if you read the comics, please first off, please go read the comics before anything. Read the comics, then you understand what I'm talking about. He's just this very cool, like very like he's serious, but he's fun, and he has this great sense of response. Like he has again his entire nation that to look after, and he takes that very seriously. Like he will die for that. And if you don't believe he takes it seriously, read the I guess it's over now, but the Avengers versus X-Men series. See what happens to Wakanda, and you see the level of badassery that he does. Yeah. Or you could watch Secret War. I mean, read Secret War, but you don't want to read Secret War. Secret War kind of sucked. Not Secret War. I'm sorry, not Secret War. Uh, the Invasion. God, I hate that storyline. That's completely different. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? I know it says it's gonna be a rap video, but I don't want to keep ranting about Morris Chestnut because that's just gonna make me angry, and you wouldn't like when I'm angry, so we're not gonna do that. Yes, we are. That's a terrible. I mean, I know I just said that, but that's a really bad idea. Like, if there's a reason to hire him, I don't want the movie to be made. Honestly, like I would boycott it. I don't need that. That doesn't need to happen. Black Panther is a dope character, and I feel like it needs to be accurately represented. And Morris Chestnut would not do it right. I'm sorry. And you know what? Neither would having a low budget either. Like I said, Wakanda is a super advanced place. It needs the money. But I think it'd be a really good turn for Marvel because it would showcase diversity. Because hey, having another black superhero couldn't hurt. Because the last one we got was Blade, and if you want to count Hancock, which I guess you can, but the last one we really got was Blade, and the first two were good, and then the third one happened, and we know what happened to Wesley Snipes after that, don't we? Yeah. So, in summation, no to Morris Chestnut. Read the Black Panther. It's a Marvel comic book for you, those who don't know. Marvel produces it and publishes it. Read him, and you'll see why he needs his own movie. Kick ass. I have the plot down. I have character casting. I have how he can tie into the Avengers. I mean, I have all these things, and this is my life. Not just this comic book, but in general, I make movie plots up all the time. And Morris Chestnut is not a part of my plot, like period. I don't even want him at the premiere. Like, I don't want him even owning a black cat. Okay, I don't own any kind of feline that is of the dark variety. I want him far away from that. I don't think I have a Spice Cat feeling enough. Let me articulate further upon that. Hell no. No. Uh-uh. No. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Ugh. Just blah, blah. Yeah. I know I'm trying to say no. Someone just stop saying that. But yeah. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go continue my badgering of Marvel executives or whoever runs the Twitter account for Marvel Entertainment until they agree to meet me and to my demands of a Black Panther film. Until then, I'm signing off.